I'm Daniel Rudge and I serve in the campus strategy, serving as the team leader of the Tropical North team based in Townsville. I started a career in IT. I had been involved in the campus ministry as a student, and after 2 years working in IT, I was extremely disillusioned with the amount of eternal significance in my job. So I had conversations with everyone I worked with and nobody was very interested in learning about God. So I keenly missed the opportunities to invest in God's kingdom that I'd had as a student. And so I joined as a missionary. Personally, why I chose to move to a new city and plant a new team was I've always been gripped by the vision of a movement on every campus and the gospel for every student. So what that means to me is that everybody has an opportunity to hear about what Jesus has done for them and an opportunity to respond to that. I grew up in a somewhat isolated home on a farm and didn't have a lot of life experience. When I left home and went to university, I was very aware that I needed a mentor, and so I sought men that were older than me that could teach me more about God and help me to understand my faith in a way that applied to living it, not just believing it or thinking about it. And so serving as a missionary with Power to Change, I've had many opportunities to speak to young people from all walks of life, all backgrounds, all cultures and races about what they believe and why. I'm still intrigued about why people believe what they do and always interested to find out how they came to that point and then share, if they let me, if they're willing to listen, why I believe what I do as well. Yeah, I found when I came to university that there was a number of different voices telling me what I needed to be or how I needed to behave to be a man. I needed to be strong and macho, I needed to provide, I needed to be sensitive. There were just all these conflicting voices and I didn't know how to separate truth from tale. And so nowadays I see many other young men in the same boat. They don't know where to go in their search for truth. They don't know who to look to as an example. And so part of my commitment as a missionary is to mentor young men like that, to come alongside them and say, hey, I've got some resources, I've got some experience. Are there ways that I can help you shape your values so that you can be someone who you want to be, someone who has a firm foundation of values that he lives on? So a recent example is a young man named David that I've been mentoring for about 4 years. He recently graduated and went through some hardships in his relationship. And being able to be there for him as he's entered the workforce, graduated from uni and started his career while moving to a different town and having some relationship issues, was a really rewarding experience because in many ways, when I had those experiences myself, similar experiences, I felt very alone. And it was a joy to be able to provide some support and some godly advice to David in those scenarios. So one of the reasons I'm so passionate about being there for other young guys is that when I was at university, 2 of my best mates committed suicide. And so that really shook me. I didn't understand why they did it. Their lives were good in terms of what the world deems as success. They had good prospects at the beginning of their lives, and yet they checked out. I promised myself I would never be in that situation again, that I always wanted to be able to offer hope for something beyond this life. And so I want to point guys to Jesus and show them that they can live for him and for his values, which last beyond this life. This is not as good as it gets. You may not think that you have much to give, but you may be just what someone else needs. You may have an experience that can encourage them, or you might have just the right words to say that can help them go on one more day and look for significance and look for meaning beyond themselves. I believe that can be found in Jesus, and I encourage you, if you follow him, to share that with others. Don't keep it to yourself. It's too good for that.